Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. Gently close your eyes and let the soft darkness around you guide your attention inward. Inhale slowly, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and then exhale with a quiet sigh. Notice how your shoulders loosen, how your jaw relaxes, and how the day's tensions begin to dissolve into the background. You have come here for a peaceful bedtime journey, one that invites you to drift away into the secrets of the moonlit Trevi Fountain in Rome. For now, simply rest in this moment, letting each breath draw you closer to a calm, receptive state. The world can pause while you settle into this safe, comforting space, ready to explore a story that will lead you through gentle cobblestone alleys, shimmering waters, and timeless wonders. As you relax, sense the slow beat of your heart, the measured pace of your breathing, and the soft hush of your mind settling like a quiet lake at dusk. Feel free to let each word be a lullaby that soothes, carrying you on waves of tranquility. This is your time to rest and wander into the night's embrace. Before we begin our journey, take another slow breath in, and with your exhale, picture the lights of a distant city glowing softly in the twilight. There, under moonlit skies, a fountain sparkles and whispers of age-old legends. Imagine the gentle glow of lanterns against ancient stone, the delicate hush of evening breezes skimming across centuries of history. Let these impressions float past your consciousness, like leaves on a still pond, each image drifting and rippling in the tranquil waters of your mind. Breathe in serenity, exhale worry. Feel the hush grow even more profound. You are safe, cradled by comfort, and ready to explore. Now, allow the gentle story to unfold around you. You need not do anything but listen and drift. Let every sentence be a soft step, guiding you deeper into calm. We begin with a night that holds more secrets than the daylight dares to reveal. Under a velvety Roman sky, she stood by a quiet window, gazing onto the ancient city streets that seemed to shimmer with an understated magic. The night was hushed, except for the distant echo of footsteps and the lullaby of water trickling from stone fountains that dotted every piazza. Rome, known for its vibrant days, had fallen into a deep hush beneath the moon's gentle glow. The city's warm stones, tinted gold by lamplight, reflected centuries of dreams and stories. Illuminated by the faint silver of the moon, the alleys twisted like ribbons, leading the curious traveler toward hidden corners and old arches. Tonight, the Trevi Fountain waited, its waters silently urging someone to uncover its timeless secrets. The fountain rose before her eyes like a stage set in marble and softly sculpted stone. She approached it with hushed steps, as though worried that the slightest sound might wake the city's slumbering ghosts. Statues of mythic figures adorned the grand facade, their features smooth and pale under the lunar beams. The fountain's water poured gently into a glimmering pool, and in the stillness of the hour, the sound was as subtle as soft rain against a window pane. For centuries, visitors had tossed coins into that water, wishing upon the future and paying homage to the past. Tonight, beneath the delicate hush of a waning moon, something ethereal seemed to ripple across the surface, an invitation to look closer. In a far corner of the piazza, a lamplighter finished his evening rounds, extinguishing the final flickers until only a few faint lights remained. The silent fountain took on an otherworldly glow. Shadows drifted along the marble edges like playful spirits. The city, known for its bustle, seemed at rest, breathing softly through the centuries that shaped its soul. Slowly, she stepped closer, entranced by the fountain's stillness, allowing her fingertips to trail along the cool stone. A gentle breeze carried the scent of ancient travertine and the memory of countless travelers who once paused here, captivated by the same quiet splendor. One of the grand statues, representing Oceanus, towered over the scene, ever watchful, water spilling around his regal figure. A subtle tension hung in the air, like the faint hum of harp strings in a silent theater. It was as if the fountain waited for a sign, a single moment when time would shift. She stood on the fountain's edge, resting a hand lightly on the marble. The water below shimmered in silver and sapphire shades, the reflection of the moon dancing in gentle ripples. Something about that reflection seemed alive, like a doorway beckoning her to step through into a realm of hushed revelations. Drawn by the fountain's silent call, she let her mind wander, her body loosening in the presence of the flowing water. Thoughts drifted to stories told by grandmothers, to postcards that depicted this very fountain, to nights spent dreaming of faraway places. In that moment, she felt connected to countless dreamers who had stood right there, hearts full of wonder. The fountain's waters seemed to cradle their wishes, swirling them together in a gentle current of memories. A hint of warmth radiated through the stone, as though the fountain itself breathed with ancient life. Quiet footsteps approached, echoing across the emptiness of the piazza. An older caretaker appeared from the shadows, carrying a small lantern that cast trembling lights across the marble. With a nod of polite greeting, he paused, searching her gaze with kind eyes that seemed to hold the entire city's wisdom. He set the lantern down carefully. Its glow accentuated the watery reflections dancing against the fountain's sculptures, making it appear as though the stone figures stirred with silent breath. The caretaker did not speak at first, merely laid a gentle palm on the marble base, as if communing with an old companion. He mentioned, in a voice barely above a whisper, an old rumor among those who swept the streets, and tended Rome's fountains late at night. That once every lunar cycle, when the moon shone just so, the Trevi Fountain revealed a hidden place behind its waters. Most dismissed the tale as superstition, but from time to time, the caretaker admitted, someone would arrive at this hour, drawn by a subtle call. Her heart fluttered. She glanced again at the water's surface. Could there truly be a hidden realm behind the tumbling streams? The caretaker's voice wove like threads of ancient tapestry, full of careful patience. It was a story as old as the fountain's first trickle. Beneath a particular arc in the carved stone, when the moonlight aligned, a narrow passage led to a secret chamber. Those who ventured inside might hear the echo of centuries, the hush of dreams not yet fulfilled, and the gentle promise of new hopes waiting to be born. But it was also said that only the quietest souls could detect that hidden threshold, that a peaceful heart was the key to unlocking the fountain's secret. As he spoke, the caretaker's lantern flickered, and the water glimmered as if alive with silent encouragement. Though she had come here out of curiosity, something within her, an openness to wonder, a calm acceptance of the night, made her yearn to see that chamber for herself. Perhaps it was the caretaker's measured tone or the mystical hush of the moonlit piazza, but she believed what he said. Her whole being softened, and she felt herself grow almost weightless, as though floating in the night's embrace. The caretaker's words were not instructions. They were merely a soft invitation to trust the quiet, to let her breath align with the hush of the city. She closed her eyes briefly, inhaling the gentle fragrance of the night air. She exhaled tension, letting the breeze carry it away. Opening her eyes again, she noticed a faint shimmer at the base of Oceanus's statue, where a trickle of water pooled before cascading into the larger basin. Clutching the caretaker's lantern, she gingerly moved along the edge, one cautious step after another. Water lapped softly against the stone, as if guiding her with a delicate rhythm. The caretaker followed a step behind, watchful yet unintrusive, like a guardian allowing her to find her own path. She slipped behind the statue's grand pillar, where swirling details of carved shells and sea creatures seemed to merge with the flowing water. There, in a small recess, a narrow arc led to a damp corridor, its entrance mostly concealed by a veil of water. The trickle parted just enough to reveal a hidden doorway, ancient and modest, its base worn by centuries of gentle currents. She paused, heartbeat slow but intense, feeling the chill of stone beneath her fingers. The caretaker's steady presence offered silent reassurance. Carefully, she stepped through the thin curtain of water, cradling the lantern so that its flame wouldn't douse in the damp air. A hush enveloped them as they entered a corridor built of old Roman stone. The walls glistened with moisture, reflecting the lantern's light in tiny sparks of golden luminescence. Each footstep echoed with a subdued note, as though they walked within a vast, resonant chamber deep below the city's surface. The corridor led downward, gently sloping into the earth. Water trickled along grooves in the floor, feeding streams that joined the fountain outside. The air was cool and tasted faintly of minerals. This path, she realized, was not a place of unrest or darkness, but rather a secret haven, hidden from the bustle above. Underfoot, the stones were worn smooth by time, and occasionally an old Roman symbol or inscription adorned the walls, half erased by centuries of water flow. The caretaker lingered behind her, letting her set the pace. Even the flicker of the lantern felt unhurried, as though time itself had paused out of respect for the moment. At the corridor's end, they reached a small chamber, domed like a private grotto. The ceiling was low, and a circular opening at the apex allowed a shaft of moonlight to pierce the darkness. Thin streams of water cascaded down the walls, collecting in a shallow pool at the center. The water's gentle murmur echoed in the chamber, creating a soothing lullaby. All around the perimeter, carved niches revealed small statues and marble ornaments. Each figure depicted a piece of Rome's mythic past: winged creatures, robed figures with laurel crowns, aquatic beings with watery tails. Together, they seemed to watch over this hidden sanctuary. She approached the central pool with reverence, setting the lantern on a dry ledge. The caretaker's footsteps were almost silent behind her. A hush enveloped them both, an enveloping sensation that felt like stepping into the most peaceful corner of a vast library or a secluded garden of ancient secrets. As she gazed into the pool, she noticed a faint shimmer beneath the surface. The water was so clear, it felt like gazing into polished glass. A single coin glowed faintly in the underwater moonlight, its metal reflecting subtle rays that danced across the grotto. There must have been countless coins scattered throughout the fountain above, but this one seemed special, resting alone in this inner sanctum. Slowly, she reached her hand into the cool water, feeling it glide across her skin like a gentle whisper. Her fingertips brushed the coin, and for an instant, her mind brimmed with visions of ancient streets and whispered prayers, of travelers arriving in the city with hope in their hearts. She lifted the coin, droplets of water streaming down her wrist. The caretaker nodded approvingly, as though acknowledging a silent ritual. The coin felt both light and significant, a token that bound together the countless stories the fountain had gathered through the ages. In the dim glow, she examined the coin. One side bore a design of the fountain itself, encircled by flowing lines suggestive of water. The other side depicted a lunar crescent, delicately etched and ringed by faint inscriptions in Latin, their meaning lost to time. She felt a gentle warmth emanating from the metal, as though it carried a soft spark of the many wishes made in the fountain's waters. Carefully, she cradled it in her palms, unsure whether it belonged to this chamber or to her. The caretaker merely smiled, offering no guidance, leaving her to trust her own intuition. Slowly, she slipped the coin into her pocket, feeling it rest there with a slight weight, like a reminder of hidden truths yet to be discovered. Her breathing grew deeper, in tune with the steady drip of water along the walls. Outside, The moon must have continued its slow journey across the sky. But in this secret place, time seemed to swirl gently, free of rush and urgency. Quietly, she began to explore the grotto, stepping around the pool to admire the carvings and small statues. Each one seemed alive with silent stories. One marble figure held a seashell, as if capturing the ocean's echo. Another showed a majestic figure holding a bundle of wheat, symbolizing the city's prosperity across the ages. Though carved in stone, their expressions seemed strangely compassionate, reminding her that the past, present, and future were intertwined like streams converging in a river. After some moments of thoughtful silence, the caretaker cleared his throat softly, motioning for them to return. She cast a lingering glance at the pool, feeling a tender yearning to remain in that gentle refuge. But something told her this experience would stay with her, etched into her memory like a whispered promise of hope. Reluctantly, she followed him back up the corridor, the lantern's flame guiding them through the soft darkness. Her steps were slow, as if every footfall acknowledged the sacredness of the space they were leaving behind. The caretaker offered his presence, but no words. The calm hush of the fountain's hidden world required no further explanation. Emerging once more into the open air, she felt the night breeze caress her face. The fountain's grand statues loomed overhead. The moon had shifted ever so slightly, illuminating the waters with a silver gleam. Yet, everything felt subtly different. Though it looked the same fountain, the same piazza, she herself had changed in some small but profound way. A gentle awareness coursed through her, reminding her that beneath the surface of what is visible lies a wealth of hidden wonder. The caretaker gave her a kind smile, his eyes reflecting the fountain's shimmering light. Then, with a slight bow, he gathered the lantern and disappeared back into the shadows, leaving her alone with the quiet fountain and the coin in her pocket. She stood there, listening to the water's lullaby, letting the memory of that hidden chamber settle into her mind. The moonlight streamed across the square, illuminating the sculptures with a liquid glow, and the hush of Rome at night wrapped her in a sense of safety. There were no urgent footsteps, no clamor of day's distractions, only the restful quiet of a city that has seen millennia come and go. Gentle ripples shimmered in the fountain's basin, carrying the reflections of marble statues and the night sky alike. She closed her eyes, letting her breath even out, picturing that secret pool beneath the fountain, safe and serene in its timeless domain. Later, as she wandered away from the fountain, her path led through narrow cobblestone streets. Lantern light flickered along the old walls, illuminating worn shutters and trailing vines that seemed to doze in the hush. Each step felt unhurried, guided by a sense of discovery lingering in her thoughts. She noticed details she might have overlooked by day. The whisper of a breeze through a hidden courtyard, the scent of rosemary wafting from a windowsill, and the comforting hush of a city resting beneath moonlit skies. The hush wrapped around her like a gentle cloak. Far above, a single star shimmered near the moon, as though keeping watch over the silent wonders below. Passing by centuries-old buildings, she let her fingertips glide against their stone surfaces, feeling the texture of history. Her mind drifted to memories of stories told by candlelight, legends passed down that hinted Rome was not merely a city of stones, but a living tapestry woven with the threads of countless souls. It was a place where wishes lingered in the waters of a beloved fountain, where hidden chambers guarded by caretakers waited for those with peaceful hearts to discover them. Now, a token of that realm rested in her pocket, its soft weight reminding her that magic can be found in unexpected corners, and that the gentlest journeys often reveal the most meaningful secrets. An old archway led her to a smaller piazza, where another fountain murmured quietly. A single olive tree stood in the center, its leaves rustling in the mild breeze. She paused to listen to the faint trickle of water cascading from a simple stone spout. The air smelled of damp stone and night-blooming flowers, sweet and grounding. In her mind, she recalled the caretaker's voice and the hush of the secret grotto. She realized that sometimes you need only slow your steps and quiet your thoughts to sense the hidden chambers in the world around you. The coin in her pocket grew warm against her hand, as if it carried an unspoken promise that beauty and peace reside beneath every surface, waiting to be found. Time slipped gently onward. She circled back toward the main avenue, where a few solitary lamps glowed against the dark. Overhead, the moon arced serenely through its path, unhurried and comforting in its presence. The city's ancient stones hummed with a quiet lullaby, and she felt the synergy of history and mystery brush against her thoughts, like a kind hand encouraging her to rest. Even the faint sounds of a distant taxi or a muffled voice from a late-night cafe blended into the symphony of nocturnal calm. Her limbs felt pleasantly heavy, and each breath seemed to cradle her in layers of serenity. Eventually, she found herself at the door of a small inn where she was staying. The arches of the entryway curved gracefully, and pots of flowers lined the windowsill, the blossoms lolling in the dim light. Slipping inside, she was greeted by the gentle hush of a sleeping building. Softly padded carpets hushed her footsteps. Candles flickered in a modest hallway, casting dancing shadows on the walls. A mild scent of lavender drifted from somewhere, further soothing her senses. Upstairs, in a cozy room overlooking the quiet streets, she prepared for rest with the memory of the fountain still dancing through her mind. Outside, the moonlight lingered on the rooftops, reminding her that the fountain was nearby, its waters forever in motion, guarding secrets for those who listened deeply. When she finally settled into bed, she allowed her mind to drift back to the hush of the underground grotto. She pictured the water's gentle reflections, the protective circle of statues, and the caretaker's quiet confidence. The coin rested on a small bedside table, radiating an unspoken reassurance that nighttime can bring healing and renewal. As her eyes fluttered closed, she imagined all of Rome cradled in starlight, every fountain's trickle merging into a lullaby that lulled the city and the world into well-earned rest. Morning came softly to the city, but the memory of that night stayed with her. And whenever she returned to the Trevi Fountain, or even whispered its name in thought, a calm sense of wonder rose within her, reminding her of the night she glimpsed a secret world behind the moonlit waters. Days turned into weeks, then months, but the glow of that hidden realm never faded. She carried it like a gentle light within. an enduring faith that in even the busiest, noisiest places, stillness and mystery awaited discovery. That was the silent vow of the fountain, to whisper hope into the ears of those who paused to listen. Though she moved forward with her life, the memory of that caretaker's lantern and the treasure she found in those hushed corridors remained. Quiet evenings in other towns brought back the echo of that drip, drip of water on carved stone. Occasionally, she would hold the coin in her palm, letting its cool surface restore her sense of calm. And whenever the moon hung high in the sky, a quick glance at its pale light reminded her of the secret passage behind Oceanus's regal statue and the tranquil chamber resting just beneath the city's surface, cradled in a world of softly flowing water. Over time, she came to share her recollections only with those seeking a different side of Rome, those who believed in the poetry that hid behind everyday sights. Some listened with wide eyes, enthralled at the thought of a moonlit door opening to a hidden pool. Others politely smiled, assuming it was only a romantic tale meant to charm and lull to sleep. But she never doubted what she had experienced, for the memory pulsed like a quiet heartbeat, encouraging her to remain open to the magic present all around. And so, whenever life felt rushed or complicated, she would close her eyes, envision the fountain's secret, and allow herself to be carried back to that moment of utter stillness below the city. Now the night grows deeper, and in the hush that envelops you, the memory of this moonlit discovery guides you toward rest. Let each breath draw you into a softer, more tranquil place. Let go of the day's busyness. The story has taken its journey through hidden chambers and quiet piazzas, and it now settles around you like a comforting embrace. Feel your muscles melt into the bed or chair that supports you. Sense the weight of your limbs as they sink, gently releasing any last bits of tension. The hush of the fountain is distant now, but it lingers in your imagination, whispering of serenity and old-world mystery. With every gentle inhale, imagine the soothing night air of Rome caressing your face. With each exhale, allow thoughts to drift and fade, like leaves carried by a soft current. Picture the moon overhead, shining calmly on ancient stones, lighting a path for your dreams to follow. The hush of water, the warmth of the caretaker's lantern, and the silver reflections in the quiet pool. These memories soothe your heartbeat, slow your breathing, and prepare you for deep, healing rest. The city's timeless lullaby echoes far away, but it resonates within you, weaving through your thoughts like a peaceful refrain. As you sink into the final moments of wakefulness, feel the hush envelop you, welcoming you into a world where dreams flow gently, unhurried by demands or worries. You are safe, and you are free to let go. No matter where you wander in sleep, the calm spirit of the moonlit Trevi Fountain remains in your heart, guiding you with its secret promise of hidden wonder. Let your breath become softer still. Let the night carry you where you need to go. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well, and may the gentle waters of your dreams bring you peace and renewal.